고산사 소리 들리세요?
네, 잘 들립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
We are ready, Master.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our Chanchi for Asia. I'm back here in Go Forest. Just got back a couple of days ago, and I'm glad to see you, all of you, here again. We resume in the class here. One exception, though, next week, next Friday, the temple has to go to funeral service. I have to go to funeral service in San Diego. And therefore, we're going to have to cancel all the classes next Friday. The traffic is very bad between LA and San Diego, and therefore, I don't think we're going to get back in time, okay, in the afternoon, okay? And so I apologize for that. So next week, you have another week off for the Asia Chan class. All right. Let's see. Also, another announcement this weekend, we are celebrating the Vesak, a very big deal for us. This is one of the reasons why I arranged our travel plans to make sure we're back here to celebrate Vesak in the U.S. And so, if possible, please join us. And those of you who can do it online, it's okay too. So we're gonna have a Buddha bathing ceremony here in Northern California at both Go Force at DTT. We have two branches here, and our philosophy is to take care of the local people. And so I'll be in DTT on Sunday as usual. And Go Force here, there's some people who prefer to be here, or they can't go very far. They can't go to San Francisco. And therefore, we also have the bathing ceremony here for them as well. As far as Los Angeles, we're going to have the ceremony, bathing ceremony at WMT as well. So all of you are welcome to join us. The Buddha, Vesak is a big deal for us because we want to show our gratitude for our fundamental teacher, Shakyamuni Muni Buddha. He came to our world, underwent a lot of suffering, incredible suffering. And that's how he showed us how to accomplish Buddhahood. To become a Buddha, you need to go through phases. For most of us, like the Buddha, demonstrated with his life story, we are confused. And therefore, we need to have a process to help untangle the knots. The knots represent the confusion in our minds. The nature, our confusion is very multidimensional. And the Buddha says, it's if you look at it, the ordinary people, because of the lack of wisdom, they would not know how to untangle the mess. Because we all have limitations with our time here on this earth. Right now, the average lifespan is about 60 years on the average. In the US, it's probably a bit longer now, but in lesser developed countries, it's shorter. It's a lot more dangerous for them. And so with this short lifespan here, we just simply don't have enough time to untangle all the knots, all the mess in our mind that has been accumulating, has been forming since beginningless time. That's how severe the nature of the confusion is. And therefore, if you're an ordinary person, you really totally are a victim of your own delusions. You make it worse for yourselves. Okay? That's what happened to me in my prior life. Life became more and more confusing. I became more and more unhappy. In particular, more and more sick. It's not until after I shaved my head and I quickly realized my body was very, very sick. Okay, I started practicing, and my liver issues showed up almost immediately. Okay, and when I started cultivating intensively, the first year in my career with the Master Hsuan temple was basically working. Okay, I could sneak around for about 2 hours a day to do my recitation, my meditation. As a novice, we were not allowed. We were not given time to meditate. Okay, actually, in Master Hsuan's time, when he was still alive, the novices couldn't meditate at all. They worked. But because I had some meditation skills, I could meditate very long. I sit for a very long time in full lotus. They allowed me to meditate. They wouldn't touch me. But typically, for novices under Master Hsuan, they could not. So I meditated, but only 2 hours a day, which is a lot for novices, even for the ordained monks and nuns. Many of them do not meditate 2 hours a day. And so, so the first year is work, and then I had a chance to start practicing more intensively, like several hours a day or more. Because at the time, I managed, actually the first 2 years, and then after that, I managed to force my way into Long Beach Monastery, and I was under the excuse of helping train the young novices, the so-called future of Mahayana generation. They're about 9 to 10 years old to 17 years old. So I went down there for 2 years and assisted the program manager in sort of like babysitting those kids who were practicing. They were being trained as per Master Hsuan instructions. And I, even at the time, I was a novice, but I was old. And therefore, I was allowed to supervise them, babysit them practically. And what I learned from there, the Dharma, some of the Dharmas I learned, like the 42 hands and eyes, are like I watched it on the side as it was being transmitted to the kids. I watched it on the side so that I would know how to supervise their recitations, their practices. That's how I encountered 42 hands and eyes. And so on their side, it was never officially transmitted to me, okay? But I was able to practice. However, later, then I realized that it's funny how circumstances manifest themselves. I realized that the reason I never received transmission for the 40 hands and eyes directly from Master Shinhua's source is because I have my own. He's there to help remind me of the Dharma. Okay? Every time you're born again, you have to relearn. Okay? You have to relearn you start from square one here in the Saha world. Very much like Master Shinhua, when he was transmitted the number 6 hand from the 6th Patriarch when he was a kid. Then Master Shinhua later had to fly to the heavens, probably to Maitreya Bodhisattva, to receive the rest of the hands and eyes. Okay? And so his path is different. Okay? But mine was to be reminded of the Dharmas through him. And then later I realized that's the nature of my relationship with Master Shinhua. He's there to remind me of the lot of Dharmas that we learned together already. Okay? So he's never had to transmit the Dharma to me because it was transmitted to me already in the past. Okay? So that's what I like about Master Shinhua. He has integrity. So what you learn from him is true and actual Dharma. He's not trying to impress people, to scam people, like ordinary people like Elon and so forth. Big scammers. Master Shinhua never scam anyone, okay? Except he conned me a little bit. Because otherwise I would have never, ever wanted to be a monk. And to be honest with you, after all this time, I'm grateful to him for conning me. Sometimes when you're so confused, you have to be scammed. I think that maybe that's also what Elon is believing as well. The difference is that Elon is an idiot, and Master Shinhua is a person with great wisdom. So be careful. Don't scam people. Okay? Do not con people. The people who have wisdom do it out as an expedient. Okay? We do it because we want to hurt ourselves without realizing it. We after nonsense. Okay? So that was the nature of my relationship with Master Shinhua. And Confucius has a saying, it says if someone is a master for one day, then you owe that person forever. And that's how I feel about my late Chinese teacher. I owe him forever. Okay, so that's why it's one of the reasons why I don't intend to retire, like losers who would retire. Okay, I will continue to work until my last breath, like Master Shinhua did. Okay, so the best way to praise and show your gratitude to someone is to emulate them and try to continue their work. All right, or maybe enhance their work, the nature of their work a little. Okay, and so that's it's. Overall, I feel I'm very blessed. I have a wonderful relationship with Master Shinhua, my Chinese teacher. And now it's my time. So in my very limited capacity, my limited resources, I'm sharing with you what I have, what I know. And so we building our American Mahayana. I call his Chinese Mahayana because I'm old enough now. I'm don't have a whole lot of time left, so I cannot afford to beat around the bush anymore, unlike the prior 17 years of my practice, okay, of my work. And so I'm gonna put my foot down and spell out more clearly for you some of the differences between us, American Mahayana, American Weiyang, as compared to the Chinese Mahayana and Chinese Weiyang that he brought to the United States. All right, so make no confusion and make no mistakes about that. Okay, his side is Chinese Mahayana, and from my perspective, our side is American Mahayana. Any questions about that? Okay, but the reason why I call it American Mahayana is because I feel, number one, the Chinese Mahayana is geared to help those, train those who have no good knowing advisors. They lack a bona fide good knowing advisor. What is a good knowing advisor? A good knowing advisor is a person that you talk to. It's not a person who hides, like a patriarch who hides. Okay? And that's, as long as you're a good knowing advisor, you don't have a good knowing advisor, then the Chinese style of Mahayana works very well for you. You stick to the Chinese patriarchs, their training style is right. For example, later in the prologue discussion, I will illustrate that point for you casually, okay, by going over the materials on the Chan school, the Chan style of training that Master Hsuan Hua explained. Okay, we started last time about over a month ago, and I'm going to go over it quickly again, and then I will explain to you some of the differences. And so again, the Chinese style of Chan, Mahayana, especially Chan training, to me is too Chinese. It works very well for them because it's, again, designed for the Dharma ending age, where there's no more competent, good known advisor, and therefore you should follow their instructions, the instructions of the great patriarchs. In Chinese Buddhism, not all patriarchs are great patriarchs. What are the great patriarchs? I don't know them all. It's before my time. I wasn't born. But some of the great patriarchs are in Chan, great Master Bodhidharma, we know that. The sixth patriarch, and so forth. And recently, I would categorize Master Hsuan Hua as a great patriarch, albeit that he's not the same caliber of the Bodhidharma or the sixth patriarch. Okay, difference, for example, between Master Hsuan Hua and sixth patriarch is that the sixth patriarch specializes in teaching the certain Dharma. Master Hsuan Hua did not. Maybe it's because his disciples are not qualified to receive the certain Dharma. Okay, so he never talked much about it. Okay, but however, as far as with the recent Chinese patriarchs like Master Xu Yun and going back and so forth, I feel that there aren't that many great patriarchs. Like the current patriarch is sort of like a caretaker. That's why Master YongHua left behind all the instructions that I followed. Okay, so that's a foundation for us to practice without a good known advisor. Okay, and so what happened is Master YongHua, that's why I consider him to be a great patriarch, because his instruction is so good compared to Master Xu Yun, or going back and back and back, and then further in the past. And then furthermore, Master YongHua is very good at explaining sutras. For example, his explanation of the Shrangama Sutra is a masterpiece. I haven't seen in the other so-called Chinese monks or patriarchs. Okay, and his understanding of the Avatamsaka Sutra is outstanding. Okay, so I feel that he's a great patriarch in my books. One of his flaws is I feel his Chan teachings are could be better. Okay, some of them I disagree with his teachings. Lucky that he's and that I didn't not lucky that the Weiyang Chan is a style of Chan school that you're not limited by your teacher. The training in a Weiyang school is that you're not limited by your teacher. Whereas the other schools I'm aware of, for example, the other 4 Chan schools in China, I don't know them all that well, but I feel they're low levels, and their founders have limitations, if you will. And therefore, because of founders' limitations, their students can be, at best, if they follow their techniques, maybe reach the founders' level. Cannot go higher than that. Whereas in Weiyang school, we are not limited by our teachers because of our very, very unique training style. That's why we have been studying the anecdotes, the Weiyang anecdotes, because this is my personal research I'm sharing with you. I'm trying to learn from you as well, get your perspectives as well on how Master Weishan, Master Yangshan trained his disciples. Okay, so that's why these discussion we're having right now actually very helpful for me personally, for all of you, I hope, and for future generations, because it's very unique that you find people discussing Chan anecdotes like this in the history of Chinese Chan. Okay, usually the Chinese, the monks, the nuns, when they quote an anecdote, they would quote it and interpret it very, very for a few sentences, a few minutes. Whereas we go into great details, we dissect it. Okay, it's really unique in that sense. So I feel this is how we can learn more from the great teachers. I learn more from you about your Chinese cultural differences that we don't understand. Okay. And furthermore, after this, I hope to move on to the other great teachers, such as anecdotes from Ma Zu, who I feel is also a great teacher. Who else? Well, we find a few more to keep it interesting for us. I love to learn. I don't know about you. As I get older, learning is exciting, okay? And I learn from these great teachers. I learn from you as well. I learn from your help in us understanding the Chinese language, Chinese culture. So it's kind of fun for me. All right. So here, let me take a short detour and go into this today's anecdote. Let's load it up. Okay, what happened? Okay, let's do a slideshow. Very sensitive mouse. I'm sleepy, and the mouse is wide awake. This is background information. This is called Where Does One Look? Background information. Great Master Yangshan. First, learned under Master Tan Yuan, probably a famous Dharma master back then. And according to the Chinese language here, I mean, we need to begin to learn to recognize how the Chinese characters are used, okay? So he says here, he awakened to the profound teachings, okay? And later, he went to study under Master Yangshan. It's not study with Master Yangshan. Be very, very careful. You don't study under with a great master. Don't think so highly of yourself. You study under a great master. Okay, so correct this. Okay, allow me to correct it. This shows proper attitude, proper reception. If you have the wrong attitude, you will not be able to simulate the subtleties of these great teachers' intention. And so he's studying under Master Yangshan. He was enlightened to the depths of the teachings. So you read this a lot in the Chan literature. Okay, this is one of the exciting aspects, captivating aspects of Chan scriptures, Chan materials, is that they have these jargon that to sort of convey to us the journey of cultivation. So I'm going to share it with you. Yes, question there. Hello, 5 fingers. Go ahead.
Is that my
we can see your 5 fingers.
Thank you, Master. I just want to point out the Chinese characters are not the traditional Chinese characters. It's the simplified one. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, some of it, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect what I'm trying to say. I'm only focusing on the main Chinese characters that I understand. The other Chinese characters I don't understand, so I ignore them. Okay? I'm too old. I don't need to learn everything. Okay? And so he says here, he awakened to the profound teachings. Okay? And later, he was enlightened to the depths of the teaching. Sheng Tang Ao. Okay? And so pay attention to this. You're Chinese, you learn the Chinese when you translate into other languages, whether Korean or whatever, or Vietnam or whatever, or Espanol or something. Make sure that you use the same language, similar language. Don't next week you use another character or another word to translate this, because there's a difference between 选举 and ao, or Xuyên. And what I'm focusing on, zooming in, is the Xuyên character and the ao character. Sheng is another clue, okay? Okay, so Xuyên here, okay, refers to the profound, the kind of depth that is very difficult for you to penetrate. Okay? Whereas it's Sheng Ao here, Tang Ao here, I don't know why Tang Ao, but the Ao here, you see this a lot in the Chan anecdotes, Chan scriptures. The Ao here refers to there is some amazement, there's some wonders, it's beyond words, beyond that are indescribable, if you will. Chinese-speaking people, please feel free to correct me, okay? I forgot to look up the Chinese characters today, okay? But the Ao here has wonderful in there. There's magical in there as compared to profound teachings from the other teacher. So Tan Yuan allowed him, great Master Yangshan, to understand the depth of the Buddhist teachings. But when it's not until later studied under Master Weishan, he discovered the wonders, the magic of the Chan teachings. Is it clear? That's what I want to emphasize to you. When you translate, please pay attention to this subtlety. Because I read these Chinese characters 25 years ago, I was totally confused. I didn't know what they meant. Not until now, because we know that Master Yangshan, he studied under Master Dan Yuan, and he awakened, okay, the profound teaching. This means that he certified to fourth stage Arhat. So he basically became enlightened. That's why they use the word Wu, okay, enlightened. So, but this is small enlightenment. So he became enlightened. He's reached fourth stage Arhat under Master Dan Yuan. Okay, and later he peaked. He peaked, and therefore he had under Dan Yuan. If Dan Yuan could no longer help him, so he stumbled upon Master Weishan, and under Master Weishan's guidance, and this is the quintessential Weiyang training. Okay, that Master Weishan created. Okay, and started in China, and he became enlightened, meaning he reached at least 1G, first ground, or higher. Okay, so the difference is that when the profound teaching, meaning and you understand things that are very profound, more so than worldly knowledge and worldly wisdom. Worldly wisdom doesn't matter how much you have, you can not reach the kind of profundity, the depth of Buddhist teachings. Okay? Especially, as I said, if you spend your life, one lifetime studying worldly knowledge, you probably will not gain much depth. Okay? Whereas you spend one lifetime studying Buddhist teachings, you will be trained, you'll be taught how to reach the depth of the teachings. Okay? And it's measured by fourth stage Arhat. Is that clear? There's no excuses here. There's no scamming here. Either you reach it, then we look at you and say, yes, I can talk to you now. Before, you cannot understand the depth of the Chan teaching, the Buddhist teaching, therefore we can only go so far. It's like today I had lunch with a boy, and he's very, very bright boy. He plays his game there, he does his YouTube things there on the phone while eating, listening to us, talking to each other, and he pays attention. So he's a very smart boy. You could call multi-processing, okay? Playing video and listening at the same time to our conversation. How do I know? Because I would trick him. I would make a comment about him, and he would react to it while he's playing his video game, watching his videos. Okay, so I knew that he's also paying attention to us. So you call it dual processing. Okay, very fast processing for a boy, and so. I started brainwashing him. I said, I forgot. What did I teach him? Anyone remembers? and children are very important. We need to influence them and give them a proper perspective. So what did I tell him? Because we're talking about how another boy got a girlfriend and broke up with a girlfriend, got a new girlfriend. I said, boy, you should learn from these adults' experiences. It won't much be longer before your turn. So I teach you one thing, okay? Go for older women. And I stress it 5 or 6 times. I'm pretty sure he'll remember it for life. Anyway, there's something else also equally important, but I forgot. Yeah. The brother does Shaolin. So I said, hey boy, your older brother does Shaolin. When your turn to go for martial arts training, I want you to go MMA. Okay, so you see, when you see children, don't forget, it's an opportunity for us to mold the mind appropriately. Okay, so teach them the proper knowledge. Teach them about wisdom, like our Buddha, like our teacher, like our patriarchs. Okay? Anyway, and so that's why these differences. Xuan, to me, is fourth stage Rahat. Ao, here, in Sheng Ao, Sheng Tang Ao. Ao here is magic. Okay, it's wonderful. That's a difference. That's enlightenment. When you fourth stage Rahat, you have the depth, you reach the depth, therefore you begin to be malleable. You're not as hard-headed, not as full of yourself. You're not as you don't think so highly of yourself. That because you have money, you're older, you have success, you have power, so forth. You won't be as confused by all that. That's why, and because you see the depth of the human mind. Okay, it's a lot deeper than can be measured by money, by success, by older woman, whatever. Okay, and so that's why you are a special individual. You can you have depth. Okay, but it's not it. You continue and you reach the level of the wonders of your mind, the wonderful things your mind are able to appreciate. It's wonderful because it's fun, folks, because it's good for you. Okay? So that's a background. And so here, the anecdote is that where does one look? So let me read it for you. Master Yangshan was washing his robe. Master Dan Yuan asked him, at this moment, what should one do? 怎么生? Okay, you agree with the translation, that what does one do? 生. Okay, and Master Yangshan replied, at this moment, where does one look? And that's the anecdote. Okay, yeah. First of all, any comment, suggestion about the Chinese character 怎么生? Does it mean that what does one do to you? Okay, ChatGPT people, look it up. Your dictionary, whatever. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong and give me some more information when you're ready. But the one thing I learned from this is that Master Dan Yuan is a good monk. He's trying to help his student. This is, I want to share with you because it's not just a monk, because you love home people, that's your job. Your job, when you wear this robe here, you eventually learn how to help others. So this is a very good spirit that Master Dan Yuan has started with Master Yangshan. He took it very seriously about trying to help Master Yangshan. Okay? So this is, for example, why in our American Weiyang, instead of leaving it like the Chinese style, I taught you left home people and lay people who want to help teach Chan, a way to teach Chan as an expedient to make it easy to train you and for newcomers to learn and new teachers, newly trained teachers to teach so that you understand more and more how to teach. Whereas my Chinese teacher is all over the map. When I asked one monk or one nun how to practice Chan there, they all gave me different answers. And it's all baloney, which made me very, very disappointed, politely speaking. Okay. And so that's why I'm teaching all of you, the lay people who are interested in helping teach Chan, train others with our American Chan. There is this way of teaching that will help people get there a lot sooner, develop skills a lot sooner, that all of you can learn how to do. Okay, and eventually you get higher, then we teach you all the skills as well. All right, and so the point here is that my admiration for the spirit of Master Dan Yuan, where he's trying to help. Okay, that is remarkable. He takes it very seriously. Like I hope you too, adults, would take very seriously trying to help our young people. Okay, by first acquiring the wisdom, words of wisdom. Number two, developing your wisdom so that you can share with the young generation words of wisdom, not your own words, because you are confused like hell. But it's nothing wrong with sharing the words of wisdom from the people who have great wisdom. All right? And if you do that, you're a good person. You're doing something very important that society needs, your family needs, your friends need. But remember, I need to caution you, don't try so hard to help because you don't have the wisdom yet to help. Wait until you're asked. Okay? All right. But more importantly, develop your wisdom. Okay? That's what we're going to help you do. And so Master Dan Yuan, in the spirit of a good teacher, of a responsible teacher, trying to help him, okay? And so he says, he helped him by asking his question, right now, at this moment, okay? At this very, very moment, what should one do? So a teacher is guiding the student, okay, by pointing him by which way to go, by asking him how he's gonna what he's gonna do to fix a problem. In this case here, what he should be doing as a cultivator while washing his robe. And Master Yangshan immediately replied, okay, he says, at this very moment, where does one look? Okay, what does it mean? It means that at this moment here, this reply here from Master Yangshan tells me that he awakened to the profound teachings already. This is a proof that that from this anecdote, I feel that at this moment, at that very moment, will be at the of the interchange between Master Tan Yuen and Master Yangshan, and Master Yangshan already reached fourth stage Arhat, whereas Master Tan Yuen probably was at a little bit lower level or much lower level, if you will. Okay? The interest here is not Master Tan Yuen. My interest here is Master Yangshan. Okay? I'm laser focused on studying his path, Master Yangshan's path, because how he became such a great teacher, such a fantastic teacher in our Weiyang school. Okay? And so when he first cultivated under Master Tan Yuen, he was able to reach fourth stage Arhat. So that tells you that even though Master Tan Yuen wasn't quite there yet, was not very high level, but he's able, Master Yangshan, by following, like I talked about earlier in today's lecture, on if you don't have a really good no advisor, even like your good no advisor is not very high, but you follow the Chinese style tradition of teaching, of practicing Chan, like when you Chan Chi, you move, they're gonna beat you up, okay? And you snore, they're gonna kick you, and something like that, okay? And so you do that, okay? It's very good chances that you will reach what Master Yangshan reached. Is it clear? Very important point here, okay? So there's methodology from the Chinese, from the tradition of Chan, that works very well. That's what they still use in Korea. I've been just back from Korea. That's what they still use in China, in some temples, and that's what they still use at Master YongHua's temples. Okay, that's why they can afford to let the second patriarch to hide his tail. Okay, here we don't quite do that. Okay, well, to me it's too slow. Okay, to follow those things like I had to do myself, it's too slow. I'm too impatient. That's my flaw. I'm a very impatient person. You're too slow, I will dump you to my disciples. Okay, I'm warning you. Be faster. Okay, my disciple can handle you. So Master Yangshan at this point here, he says, what makes I think that Master Yangshan reached fourth stage Arhat? Because this is how the Chinese training process of their Chanchis and Fochis and so forth, or the Tibetan, or the Vipassana in some ways, the Hinayana meditation in some way, even though not as efficient, are doing is that in those places like Tibetan, Hinayana, Myanmar, Thailand, and so forth, they are doing this, but they don't quite specifically do that like Master Yangshan. Therefore, it's very helpful for all of you, Hinayana people as well as Hinayana, Mahayana people, okay, to understand how to reach for Arhat. And this very effective way for Master Yangshan is that he used the word jian, okay? Jian here is to look, okay? But look here in the Buddhist jargon is also to see, to hear, to smell, to touch, to taste. Look here, jian here means, okay, this is another jargon you should need to know as well. Jian here, it's used in the Shrangama Sutra, represents the sense organs. What you perceive. Where does one look? Where does one perceive? Okay, and so therein lies the secret that we in Mahayana Chan know how to bring you the four stages of Arhat much more effectively than the Hinayana, whether it's Thai, whether it's Tibetan, and so forth, including Hinayana, Mahayana in Master Srinivas temples, is that we use your sense organs. Okay? And I will clarify it for you. And that's why I discuss this in conjunction with the lecture later, which I hope you will tune in or watch a video later on the essence of Chan training. Okay? So we used your sense organs to help you reach your depth. The depth, what depth are we talking about? The depth, the deep corners of your mind. I'm so clever. I'm kidding, come on. Okay? And so that's what it takes for you to be able to reach for Arhat, is that you need to penetrate the depth of your thinking mind. So at this level, it's much more efficient for you to do it that way. And that's how Buddha started. He started by teaching Agama Sutras, which is basically based on your intellect processing until the last minutes before you hop on to do the vehicle of awakening. Questions, comments? My goodness, I'm tired, and yet I can speak for an hour with so much nonsense. Any questions? If you don't ask anything, I don't mind, because it shows you're impressed or lost. Either way, I have no problems. Yes, 5 fingers.
Thank you, Master. Master Yangshan replied, at this moment, where does one look? Isn't that, because in the Chinese, there's no tense. What about where should one look?
Why do you want to use should?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Because on page 2, it uses one. What should one do? And then if
That's a good question. the should here is intellectual should. Okay? It's the reasoning here. It says, you should do this, meaning it's better for you. Okay? So that's why Tan Yuan was stuck at. I should help him, I should help you, and so forth. Okay? Therefore, you should be doing this. Whereas Master Yangshan was beyond that already. Okay, he's there already. So he says, what do I do now? That's why there's no should.
I
The
see it's
should
about
shows that Tan Yuan still wasn't sure. The instruction is still nebulous, it's still vague. And that's the same thing I will explain to you later in tonight's lecture. Okay? It's whereas Yangshan says, no, you don't do should. It's not about should, but do this. And that's precision of the instructions. Eat! Stand up! You don't say, you should eat. You should stand up. You should be nice to me. That's polite society.
got it.
Any other questions? Good question. Thank you for asking that. I'm glad she asked because I thought of it too, but then I forgot. All right. I really don't have any notes here for these Chan anecdotes. I flow with whoever is interested, whoever is present. If I prepare notes, then I'm stuck. Okay? I'm stuck on what I want to say. I only say things that matter to you. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Very good. We stop here today. Thank you so much. Today's so quiet. You guys are being nice to me or what? Being kind to me? Let's not give Master a hard time today. He's kind of groggy and he's not himself. Huh? Is that it? Thank you.